Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the individual speakers, commentators, guests, experts, and our hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the network broadcaster channel and or program's policy or the views held by this network broadcaster channel or program. The network broadcaster channel or program cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fem Talk. We have, as always, a special show for you. So let's bring in the beautiful ladies of Fem Talk. We have Dr. Melissa Simmons.
Hello, Fem Talk Nation.
And we also have Shima She Talks.
Hello, Fem Talkers.
Hello. All right, let's get this show started. So we've got different topics to talk to you about tonight, but we're not going to give it away. We're going to start with Ask Fem Talk. Now, remember, if you have a burning question that you want us to answer, you want our insights, opinions, and you want it aired on the show, just email us at femtalktv@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you and answer your question right here on the show live. All right, so tonight's question is, I think I want to leave my job. I've been there for over 5 years and love the people I work with. Unfortunately, I'm not growing anymore, and I know there is better out there for me, but I'm scared to actually do it. How do you move on from a company you've invested so much time into? This is a good one.
That's a good one.
Who wants to take it? First shot.
Just jump. No, sir.
I'll take a shot because I think in my head I couldn't wait to find a company I could work for 25, 30 years, get a pension and leave. And that's what I thought I wanted. When I started working, almost every couple of years, maybe, depending on what I was doing, I was leaving and going on to something, but all through promotion. And I think the longest stay I had was 9 years. But even after that, and I asked them, can you just give me this position and I'll stay? And they ended up saying they couldn't. Ended up being the best thing for me, leaving, getting promoted. That same company asked me to come back in a much higher position. So than even what I had asked for, making more money than what I would have gotten if I stayed there. I say that to say, I think you have to know what your goals are. And once you're not meeting your goals in terms of your career, you leave. You owe nobody nothing in the sense where you remember you're always fulfilling somebody else's goals and dreams when you're working for people. Once that intersection of your goals and their goals don't match, you leave. Because at the end of the day, you're always fulfilling their goals for their company.
Right.
So once that doesn't match up any longer with yours, you have to put yourself before somebody else's goals and dreams.
Absolutely. And as time went on, right? Like company, it was no more, stay at a company for 25 years, right? They did away with pension and they implemented 401k, right? There were a lot of things that companies started putting in place that made it seem more temporary than long-term, right?
Yeah.
So like you, right, if the company is not aligned with your personal goals, and what you're doing in that company is not aligned with your personal goals, then it's time to move on. And listen, everything can be done scared. Right? As we have learned here, the three of us, through so much development that we've done, sometimes you have to take a step scared in order to be able to move on, to progress forward, to actually grow. So do it scared, but do your homework. Here's the thing, right? Go out there, start seeking what you're looking for.
Right.
Look for the companies that align with your personal goals and what you want to do for your individual career. Look for those companies, see what they're all about, not just the work itself, but also the culture, right? Because you want to make sure that you have the
Yeah.
ability to progress when you're in that company. So
Mhm.
look for other companies, do your homework, do all the research, see what's out there, and then make the move scared.
Right.
Right?
I
I
You
love
know,
agree.
that.
like
Make
Frankie
it
says, just
scared.
do it.
Make it
Sometimes you
scared.
have to just do it. Yeah.
Right. I think one of the key things you said was you got to really do the work.
Hmm.
Go out there and you listen. No one would ever say just quit and leave and wing it, because it depends on your situation. It depends on what you have as responsibilities, what you're accountable for. But because you have given those 5 years to that company, you know what you no longer want, what no longer suits you. So when you're looking for the next thing, those are the things that you want to make sure are not in your wheelhouse. You want to make sure that they're offering the things that you're looking for, that you
Hmm.
feel like you want to learn, grow in, or give to that company, the new company you go to. And so, like she said, do it scared, but think of this too. Like they both said, the companies aren't dedicated to us anymore. Not, and who knows if they ever were, but they're not dedicated to loyalty and stick to itness and things like that anymore. They're dedicated to their bottom line, unfortunately. But you are human capital. I say that as a HR person. You are human capital. In most cases, they need you. They need a body, but they do need you. So I would say to you, don't wait for your time to be up on their terms for you to make the decision. When you're kicked out of the nest, it's different than flying out of the nest.
You have to fly.
Yeah.
You
So if
have
you
to
choose
fly.
to launch and go, that's fine.
Hmm.
Make sure it is on your time and on your terms. And don't be afraid. Depending on you and your mindset, and from the letter, it sounds like you're in the mindset for something more. You're going to meet new friends. You're going to be dedicated to maintaining old friendships. So the friend part can't really be the thing that keeps you there. You
Hmm.
love those people, but you make sure you stay connected to those people. Go
Hmm.
for what your heart and your mind needs to grow.
I like that.
Absolutely. And
I like
and you talked about companies with their bottom line, right? Like
Mhm.
think about your own personal bottom
That's
line,
right.
and what you want for yourself in your career, because finances is a big part of
Yeah,
that as well. So don't, leave that portion out of it.
absolutely.
Um,
And
but,
I do
life
think
is about change, honestly,
exactly.
right? And everything changes. So you
Absolutely.
have to consider, how you want your life to change and what you're
Mhm.
willing to do to be able to move forward. So
And
one
don't
thing
continue.
I
forget
add
that
just
what
real
you
quick.
want. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we're both talking.
I know. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, lay out your goals.
Mhm.
Know what they are. Lay it out. Write down what you want. I just talked to somebody about this. Don't be kind of just looking like I think I want more money. Know what you want. So when you see so when you finally find it, you find it. That's all.
Mhm. And I was gonna say, it depends. This person also doesn't speak about how old they are, and sometimes that matters. In different stages in your life, you want different things.
Mm-hmm.
We all
Hmm.
can say we started out chasing the dollar. Once I got to that halfway mark, that 50-year-old mark, or even just a little before that, work-life balance has always been something on my calendar, in my view. Once I got closer to 50, it really became, in my view, it was forefront, because I had to be content with going to this place every day and not hating it, and loving being able to do all the other outside things and be content and less stressed, and had the mindset to want to give myself to a company. So you got to think too where you are in life, what stage you're in, and how it benefits you, how it's going to benefit you when you move.
Yeah. And now that you said that, really quickly, I just want to piggyback a little bit of something off of
Mhm.
that. No matter what age you are, don't be scared to try new things, right?
Absolutely.
Don't stump yourself because of the age, right? So don't not choose a new position, new company because it scares you to the point where there's things in there that you just don't know. Don't be afraid to grow and learn. That's all I wanted to add to that. No matter what age.
Learn it
Mhm.
all.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. All
Do
right.
learning. Just keep learning.
So, for those of you out there, I hope that you saw the Met Gala. And if you didn't actually see the Met Gala itself, right? But did you see the fashion
Fashion.
at the Met Gala? This is big every year. So this
This is
year,
like this is the event if you love fashion.
absolutely
And
is.
yes, and I know I watched it with Nick, and we had a ball watching it. So why don't Nick come on and join us? I think let's talk.
Oh, hello. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I say a lot of people who are into fashion who looks for this, like they would make the assumption this is this is like for fashion, this is their Super Bowl.
This is Super
This
Bowl.
is the biggest, one of the biggest days. You have all these different fashion weeks, but you know the best people are going to show up and they're going to bring it at the Met Gala. No matter what the theme is, people are going to show up.
Mhm.
And let me tell you something. That ticket to go to the Met Gala is coveted. Everybody does not get to go to the Met Gala. I mean,
And you get invited one year and you don't get
you
invited
don't
back
get
the
invited
next.
You don't
again.
know how.
That's right.
You don't know why or how.
You're not a
There's no
guaranteed.
reason, no
It's not a
rhyme or
guaranteed
reason.
thing.
It is not guaranteed that you
That's
return.
That's right.
So
And
if you guys
everything
didn't know,
is so tight-lipped. They talked about that on the carpet. They knew nothing. You don't know anything, and nobody who's on the inside seeing everything, nobody's telling.
Nobody's talking.
They
It's
are
all
not
surprise.
telling.
They are
Yeah.
sworn
Love
to
it.
secrecy.
so if you guys don't know, the Met Ball is an annual event where their job is to raise money for the New York City Metropolitan Museum of Art, and they focus on the fashion division. This actually broke records this year. They raised $31 million. That's the most in the Met Gallery history. But I was explaining to the ladies backstage, the artists and the celebrities that you're seeing dressed aren't the ones paying for these tickets. It's designers. It's the people that are the people that are dressing them, and why we're going to talk about why it's so important we watch the red carpet is because your favorite artist is going, or your favorite celebrity is going to be dressed in some of the best of the best of one of their favorite fashion designers. And the designers want to show off just as much too. Which celebrity did we get this year?
Which celebrity did we get?
No,
Did
like,
we
and
get-
that's what the designers
that's-
are saying.
oh,
They
oh,
want to
yeah,
show
yeah,
off
yeah.
which
Because they
celebrity
want
they
this
were able to
celebrity.
covet and grab.
Exactly. And they're looking for the
Celebrity-
celebrity that's going to show it off.
Plural,
That's going to
exactly.
take it to that level. Who's going to work with them or
Mhm.
work with whatever designers are there to really like push the envelope. Because that, I mean, they want that celebrity. So there's some kind of people that always show up. You know, our first person that just always comes to mind, Janelle Monáe. She is Met Gala royalty because she pushes the envelope, and they always have her in something. She's whatever the look is, hers is gonna be the most extreme of the look.
They got a vibe
And
for
that just
her.
goes with,
Interesting.
yeah, I was
You
going to
went
say
with
that goes
Janelle
with
Monáe.
who she
I wish
is.
I had her picture.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know you have it, but she was typical Janelle. I couldn't wait to see what the Janelle Monáe had on. And just like the people that you know, the announcers and stuff, they were waiting for, like, there's a handful of people you couldn't wait till you saw them. You was like, okay, when is so and so coming? We want to see what they are. You know, back in the day, which I didn't see her this time. I don't know, maybe she wasn't invited, but Sarah Jessica Parker always was a standard. Because Sex in the City, how she saw, so she was always a standard. I didn't see her at the Met Gala this year. Like I said, it's a coveted event. Everybody doesn't attend Maybe we missed her picture, but that's one of those. It's people that really represent fashion in
I
their
don't
lives.
remember seeing her.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Don't remember.
No.
Yeah.
I wanted to make
Right, but
mention
who did
to donate-
stick out to you guys?
Huh?
Oh my gosh.
Who-
There
oh.
were so many.
I got some. So I'm just going to start showing some pictures
Yes.
and we can
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we could go all over the place if we just want to think about who we remember.
There's so
So
many.
let's start off with
Yes.
Rihanna.
Rihanna did it again. She
Rihanna.
showed up with the belly bump, told everybody, guess what? I'm pregnant again, and
Mhm.
looked fabulous doing it. This reminded me of her red outfit at the Super Bowl, and she's pregnant, and I'm fabulous.
Mhm.
And everything on her is how her designer, the way it looks, the way it accentuates in a sexy way pregnancy.
Yeah.
She killed it. She killed
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely
Yeah.
did.
Beautiful.
Now, I have
That's
one of
lovely.
the, if you guys know, the Met Gala is hosted by a select group of people
And-
every year. So I want to show Coleman Domingo, who was one of the hosts.
But
Mhm.
I think it's worth mentioning the designers, right? So she was in Marc Jacobs this year.
Right.
I love me some Marc Jacobs. Yes.
Yeah. And he looked great too, by the way.
So we had
Love
Coleman
it.
Domingo actually had two outfits. He did a
Yes, he
change
did.
on the red carpet.
Yes, he did.
So he started off like this.
And the reason why there was a choir at the beginning, because this was
Yes.
representing the theme, and I know, Nick, you're going to go more into it, was Black Dandy. And it represents Black tailored excellence, Black, making statements. We are known as choir people, singing people. So the gala actually started out with a Black choir.
Right.
So
Singing. And they were singing.
representing our culture. So this was his represent. Now, if you are a part of a church and know about choir robes, this is a choir robe.
Well, you know what it quit for me, because he did the wardrobe change. I was like, was he dressed fully in the other one? Underneath? He was.
Underneath,
This
yeah.
was above his first outfit. His second
I
outfit.
said, "Ooh, yeah."
But I love this because, again,
And
Black
this is what
choir
he
robes.
changed into.
That was fab.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
This
yes.
looks like 1920s.
It looked like he was getting ready to start doing
Yeah.
the Charleston or something.
Yeah.
I was
Love
just
it.
like, oh,
Love
And
it.
that's what the look is from. I mean, it was actually from 1600s, 1800s,
yeah.
especially
18th century.
as Black people were coming out of slavery. This is how they contested. We represent ourselves. This is how individuality
She
really
meant
took.
the 60s and the 70s, not the 1600s.
No,
The
'cause
18th century.
18th century. I mean, but the looks came from the
Yes.
aristocratic looks.
Right.
That
What
was
impressed me
represented in
was, and I think I said it too. I said it last night while we were watching. Was the tailoring aspect is so important. The
Mhm.
crispness, the how doesn't matter if it was male or female. The way it was tailored against someone's curves for a female, or
Yes.
how the cuffs were
The cinch.
perfectly aligned for the males. Like the tailoring is what brought things to another level.
Mhm.
Like, and I think we talked about this earlier. The
It's amazing.
tailoring on that.
Fabulous. The tailoring on
What
Zendaya.
is
Now, what
happening?
can't Zendaya wear?
Yeah.
That's number one. What can't she wear? But look at the fabulousness of
Yeah,
the
my
tailoring
God.
on this suit.
It makes her look like she is 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Just the slimming of the thigh, and then the widening at the bottom, and then the cinching
The waist.
right in the middle at the waist.
Mhm.
Yes, it said everything.
Yeah.
And I think when the different suits you will look at, I don't think we have a picture. I'm not saying to bring it up.
We
but
got
you
another
mentioned
one.
The tailoring. Here's another one with
I
the
love this one
flair
too.
to it. Lupita this is Tiffany blue or green and against her black skin. I mean,
Yes.
how beautiful
Mhm.
is that?
I love it.
No,
Stop it. Stop it. This is one of my
one of the favorites, right? I think
That's
what
Louis
you're
Vuitton,
gonna
is it
say.
not?
dripping and ripping.
Yeah.
dripping.
Did we all see the
In it.
theme, the Louis Vuitton theme? Did we see that yet? If you haven't, just keep looking. We'll talk about it. I caught it. I caught it. I was like, oh.
All Louis.
Oh.
All over in so many different the emblems, the symbols of Louis. I mean, everything in it, but for Doechii. It looked like it was made for her. You know, everybody couldn't pull off that look. You know what I'm saying? And I think it, and this was another, if you read about the Black Dandy, it is a gender neutral look, meaning it doesn't say female or male. It's fluid between females and males. So so what you put when you put on a suit, it could be a man, it could be a male suit or a woman's suit. Right. The tailoring is fitting your body, but it's gender neutral. It's not to accentuate so much of your, you know, the curves and stuff. It's supposed to hide things, but it still brings this elegance to it.
It almost highlighted the best of both.
Yeah, the best of both.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect example of this. Breonna Stewart, a WNBA player. Now, a suit, I think the way you play the line with it is the way it drops and the cleavage you get from the shirt, but it's also a suit, the hat. But you make sure her baby hairs are sticking out though, so you get the femininity still back. This plays the line of it perfectly. You know, the overcoat, but the slacks hitting the shoes perfectly. It's you can play it right.
She was the best dressed sports figure there last night. Period. For me, because that was the look. I think she pulled it off the best in terms of.
I have a couple more. I have another one
look, of some of the athletes. Her look, the whole suit, and if you know how she dresses, it's her. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's her look. Like she couldn't wear what Zendaya wore because it wouldn't have been her. But that look.
Fabulous. But that also goes for her look when she when they did the draft.
Yes.
Whoever dressed her for the draft dressed that body.
Yes.
She looked wonderful.
I love
but that's tailoring, right? That's the definition, right? Your tailor is going to make it you.
That's right.
They're going to cut it at the right parts, cut it like it. It's this was a great theme. I loved it this year.
I loved it. I did.
This is another one of the hosts, Lewis Hamilton. He's an F1 racer.
I love that.
And he's just so
handsome.
I love that look.
That's this handsome elegance. You know, the pin. You know, the brooch hanging off.
He's not from America, so it gives European.
Yeah,
European royalty.
Europeans
with the beret and
Spanish. You know, it gives this look to everything he has. I like the fact that he was in the black shoes too.
Yeah,
I think that was also a nice take. If you look, there's a buckle of looks like a diamond buckle on that black shoe.
Yeah.
So it hits the shoe and it's like it's done. You know what I'm saying? It's those
details, the little details, even the brooch.
Yes.
On the jacket.
The pinky rings. You see the pinky rings being accentuated.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Fabulous.
Now,
we're not even looking at the back. There's more.
This is one of my faves too, because this to me reads Met Gala.
Yeah.
You know, on steroids. Like, let me take the theme and still make it look like Met Gala. Right.
Let
like
me take it to the next level.
Yeah.
This picture doesn't show the I guess the prince next to her with the yellow parasol. I mean, purposely a blue bag. You know, if you notice, a lot of people had bags because that's part of the look.
Yes.
Having that bag, the blue bag pops off of if her eyeshadow is blue, she has there's a blue tint to the lip. Yeah. So it's so coordinated, and you haven't seen Lauryn Hill do something like this in eons.
Participate, exactly. I hate to use the word, but I have to say.
They made a note of it. This was Lauryn Hill's first appearance on a red carpet, and they said like 15
forever. Like 30
that's why I said
she has not since when she
I think
album.
That's a sign all in itself. Lauryn Hill may be coming back with something.
And this is the thing. the drama with this suit, just think about one quick swoop with the cape. It will, if you get the picture right with the one swoop, it'll look like she has a dress on. You look on the other side, fully suited.
Fully suited.
So that's the masculine and the feminine, yin and yang there.
I got another one for you. Another Met Gala staple, I would say, in this generation, Miss Kim Kardashian.
Oh yeah.
When she came out, they said, I think it was Christian Siriano. He said, "Look at the Black Witch." And immediately he saw witch, and after you say, yeah, that's kind of it. But once again, she's a staple. People love to dress Kim,
and waiting.
Kim is going to take it to the next level. Kim does. She wants to be avant-garde. She wants to be different. She wants to be extreme in the look, and it's a tailored leather. There was maybe a handful of leather outfits yesterday.
Right.
She was in one of them, but tailored to perfection for her body.
If you look at the back of it,
Woo!
It was completely fitted right above, and that little piece right above the butt. And
right
then
above
there was
the crack. Perfectly above the crack.
And you didn't show anything.
Tailored. Yet again,
right.
tailored
And then there was another belted part in the back for the body, the midsection.
Right.
So,
and they said, and they talked about her bringing this cowboy, quote unquote, cowboy Carter to the Met Gala because with the hat, the leather, again, people couldn't wait to see her, and once again, she didn't disappoint.
Another one of the hosts for the Met Gala this year, Mr. Pharrell.
Mr. Pharrell.
I thought it was boring. It's boring.
Yeah, and not like him, right? Like he's normally out there with his style, so I'm surprised that he was more reserved for the Met Gala this year.
They did say that there was like millions of little diamonds all over the jacket.
Yeah, the details were
those details. It doesn't. Unfortunately, when you can't see it,
right,
it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like when you have to wait for the commentators to do the commercial break and read the actual card from the thing, and then it was actually embezzled one diamond at a time by hand.
Okay.
Oh, cool. I wish I could have seen that.
Yeah.
Right.
As one of the hosts, they could have did better. They could have done better.
Absolutely.
I know, Tracy, you mentioned this look.
Now, I love this look for him. I think it's debonair. It's not quite Met Gala, but it's debonair and it's sophisticated, right? Yeah. And I just loved it because another athlete coming out and showing off and putting on his duds, right? I think he looked great.
I wasn't crazy about it, but it was different. It was different. Yeah. It was definitely. I mean, you can't be that. I think that's also the beauty of the Met Gala. If it was a little off, well, isn't that Met Gala purpose? Well, it's not the perfection. The bubble jacket. I think that
not her.
But she's there because she's there now. She could have been off.
She could have taken the back door.
They tell you just you. They often,
your partner can go. Your partner can meet you upstairs.
Absolutely. To that point, there was another couple though who was quite coordinated, and that was Alicia Keys.
Oh, that was. I purposely did not want to picture that one.
I didn't like it.
I didn't say I liked it. I said they were coordinated.
They were coordinated.
I didn't like it, but it was coordinated.
I'll get it. I'll get the picture for the people. But I'm just gonna say, I purposely skipped not clicking that picture.
Yeah. Now the look that I love to have. Oh my God.
Oh yes, my girl, Angela Bassett.
Oh, that's
Angela Bassett killed it.
And that
blue brocade look, velvet, everything.
And she looks like a witch there too. I just have to say, right? It looks like Alphaba would wear it.
It seems like there's quite a few nods to the witches. Throughout this gala.
Witches, the hair. When she tried it on at first, the hair was different. Yeah, no,
coordinated, just coordinated.
Coordinate. if y'all saw a Boomerang, this is Boomerang.
I just have to say that was my first time seeing it. And I'm just going to say that.
Okay, something that y'all can celebrate about, because I know you all loved it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going like this. Now, Nick, I already told you. Yes, that's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
When I lost it, Nick, I think when we was I think we was on the phone together at this point. He only saw the first look. And when he finally saw this look, he said, I get it, Mom. Because I said, best ever. The queen has arrived. The queen has arrived.
And she has
Diana Ross is 81 years old.
Still
Who
shutting
down.
Shima, what you said earlier was right. So share about the dress.
She has all of her children's names embroidered on that train.
And
all
that's
of
her
you
son.
see Ross.
That's her son.
Yes, it is beautiful. When you,
her son escorted her.
You zoom in, you'll see it. Absolutely beautiful.
I mean, she actually did a change, and she went into a blue purple outfit for a nod to Mahogany, her movie. So she was in a beautiful blue, and she actually posed with Zendaya in that picture. So you find that, I mean, you just take a look at that. But again,
we got
she is the epitome of black excellence.
We have a request for an outfit that I am so desperately trying to find.
Well, there was we're looking for
a nod.
Yeah, we gotta see. What about Ciara and Russell? I'm getting it. It's coming.
Yeah.
Honorable
Russell. He had to stop and look at his wife. That's how good she looked.
He what? He
had to stop and look her up and down. Ciara killed it.
But
that
doesn't he always have to stop and look at his
He got to stop and look at that beauty girl, because he said, wow, this is something else. I don't know if
that's why he keeps on saying, where's my fifth child? He's adamant about that.
Yes, because this woman can put an outfit. I will say the one outfit, and maybe y'all saw it, was that outfit that you like, that you would love to see yourself in. Because all these were beautiful outfits. The one outfit that I said, oh, if I could get that outfit, was Usher's wife. Had on
you didn't want to tell me you wanted to show that picture too?
Right, you should.
Yes, she looked amazing. She really did.
It wasn't as avant-garde as most, but that look, you could wear that. I mean,
Zendaya had on mine.
Yeah,
I love white. I love white, and I would wear that in white. But if you could just douse that in a little candy apple red,
you would kill it. You would kill that in red.
And then the cute one, like I said, it was an honorable mention. Sabrina Carpenter had also Louis Vuitton. It was a deep burgundy.
Y'all gonna stop naming people I don't have pictures for. Y'all gonna talk about someone we have pictures for. Talk about this.
Mindy Kaling, I think top 5.
Look at that.
It was royal.
She looks,
like you said,
it almost looked military a little bit.
The tailored look, a little bit of nod with the band to her Indian heritage. You know, they always have that band. The tailoring, the brooches. Look at all those brooches that's just on that. I mean, I think this is one of the best looks I think she's ever pulled off.
Yeah.
She, she's not known to be, top 5. But this look was top 5.
Yeah, I would wear that.
Stunning.
Yeah,
she's very
hair perfection.
Very tiny now.
Look at it. That's it right there.
Yeah, love that look.
I would love that outfit.
Yeah.
When you talk about tailoring too, look at that waist. Look at the waist there. Beautiful.
Everything. The underbust.
That's pretty fun. I gotta admit. As a unit, like that's one of those things where
they turn the whole shirt into a
separately. Usher doesn't look good. Usher's boring. Together as a unit, that's an amazing outfit that he has on and what she's wearing. If they weren't together, it wouldn't have hit as much.
It's not necessarily Met Gala, right? That's why it's not Met Gala, but it's
boring for Met Gala.
But they're both tailored to the T.
Yeah.
T.
Yeah.
That outfit I thought was stunning.
Very
Like you
similar.
said.
Not
Look,
Met
look,
Gala,
Yeah.
did she go?
but tailored.
But beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what can't she pull off? And what I love about Ciara is because she's had so many babies, she carries her baby weight so well with her hips and stuff, and she's not always running to lose it all because those hips, they work in that outfit. You know what I'm saying? You know, a thin Ciara couldn't pull that off, but postpartum Ciara's killing it.
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I noticed too? This look I loved. I absolutely loved as well. I thought this was different for Cardi B. Very Met Gala, also
Yes.
just because
That
of the
very key,
material,
very
the
key to say.
style. Yeah,
Different.
yeah, absolutely different.
Yeah,
The
Poison
hair,
Ivy.
everything, spot on. I absolutely loved it.
She's
I
using a
wanted to
lot
say
more
too,
femme.
though. I wanted to say too, though, when you're looking at when we had Ciara up there were quite a few women who cut their hair short and had a portion of it blonde for this particular event. I know that I'm trying to think of who else did it. It was Ciara. It was oh my gosh, why do the names escape me right now?
No, I know.
But there were quite a few women who did their did
But
short
was
hair
that a
with a
plant?
touch
Is
of
that
blonde.
was
Nicole
that one?
Kidman was one of them who cut her hair off for this. Ciara, it was Taraji P. Henson. She did, like, there were a few women that said
I think they were channeling. I don't know where the blonde came in at, but I know the short look was more Josephine Baker. So they was definitely channeling the Josephine Baker tailored look. A lot of them pulled that off. The blonde, I wonder because if you noticed, especially with Lauryn Hill, here you see Josephine Baker, those loops again in the front. If you notice with Lauryn Hill, there was a yellow theme to the whole carpet. So maybe that is where the blonde came in at, because if you notice, the flowers all in the background was a hint of yellow. So that could have been they probably did give them some kind of ideas of some key colors that would be on the carpet, if that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
great Met Gala.
Shabuzi.
Yes.
And you may see it. He has a grill of the same blue in that pearl outfit he's wearing. His blue, the same blue, which when you look close,
you'll see it.
Teeth, and there's some other highlights of it. And you can't see this much here. There's two little you see the train that is on both sides of the outfit too. So when you see the whole look, it's now he was avant-garde. I thought Shabuzi pulled it off.
For sure.
Also very different from what you would expect.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked it was Shabuzi. And you see in the background, show the background again. You see the yellow, you see the blue. So a lot of people use those as staple colors.
Yeah,
and good background for their outfit.
Now, what's her name? I forget her name.
Sabrina
Carpenter.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love how that looks. That's my other outfit.
Quite tailored.
Yes.
Shima, I can see you in that.
I can see
some Madonna.
Madonna, I thought looked nice. Again, she's usually the one. I will say this. This is Madonna's look from back in the day. She always had a male jacket on. She was always on this. So I thought this was really her. And I liked it when I saw it. Again, I think especially when some of the veterans come to the table and you see them still looking stunning, I thought she looked great.
Now, one of my favorite artists looked amazing, I think, in my opinion. Mr. Chance the Rapper.
He was. I saw him with somebody else.
He was walking with Donatella.
Okay, I knew.
Yeah.
And I thought that
also had an amazing date for the Met Gala.
I thought that was so unusual.
She just retired, and her first public event is walking hand in hand with Chance the Rapper at the Met.
Yeah,
I thought that was so odd when I saw that. I said, "Is that?"
Loved it. Is that? Everyone questioned it for a second.
Yeah, so you don't know who knows who. I say that.
Right.
But again, I love Chance. I thought he looked great. Again, the accessories, I thought made his outfit. So
Yeah,
kudos.
I have one more for the celebrities, and then I hope we got everyone then. Hopefully.
Is there any way to get them all?
Serena.
Yes, Serena Williams.
She now, I don't know what Serena did, but after that second baby, she took, or I mean, she is like took a lot of her weight. I mean, she's so slim.
Yeah,
I think she's
not bulked up like she used to.
Not bulked up. Understandably, she don't need all the bulk anymore. I thought she looked once again stunning. She pulled off the dress look. Again, you see the blonde, you see the Josephine Baker look. So definitely that was a theme going on. I guess there was some bubble theme going on too, because she got the bubble.
Yeah, they could have left that part out though.
Yeah, I mean,
in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think the color on her skin. I mean,
they could have made it feathers.
Light colors.
Yeah,
it just makes them look beautiful.
Nice. Absolutely. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back. We have another topic for you. All right, and we are back. Let's bring in the ladies of Fem Talk. Yes. So we have to say thank you to our amazing producer for coming out and joining us for the Met Gala review there.
You might have to join us for the next review too, you know.
So listen, we wanted to talk tonight because as you know, and we reported as well, that Pope Francis passed away. And now, starting May 7th, the 2025 Papal Conclave will begin. So, Dr. Melissa, take it away. I know you wanted to talk to us about Conclave and what actually happens.
What happens? In that process. I grew up Catholic. So part of the Catholic religion, knowing about the popes, this has been part of my life for at least 20 years. So now that, and the conclave actually starts tomorrow. Right. So the Pope, it usually happens after a Pope dies. They wait about 3 weeks and then they start the selection. What happens is all the cardinals across the world comes into Rome. They go to Vatican City and they are sequestered to now select the Pope. They are sequestered so they don't have any outside influences. It got as deep to they all have very strict diets because they felt that back in the day they would put secrets and suggestions in food so that people can vote for different people. So they stay sequestered until they can choose a pope. The longest one they had, I think it was in 1200s, took two to 3 years.
2 years. It was 2 years.
2 years to pick a pope. But that hasn't happened.
That's why the conclave started.
So now they are able, usually within a few days, they do pick a pope. I will say this, if you want to really get an idea of what it's about, watch the Academy Award nominated movie Conclave. I did not watch it until recently, which is really the other day. And now I see why it was nominated for Academy Award. It was excellent. But it really did show you what, and what kind of goes on in the choosing of the Pope, and the politics that it becomes. And Catholic religion is no different than any other, where the politics of popularity, what countries they want the Pope to come from, all comes into play. Some of the largest areas of Catholicism are in Africa and in South America. And usually you don't have popes from those areas. Most of the popes have been from the European countries. So again, we know that this is very political, this process that they do go through, but they do try to the best ability, whoever's running the conclave does their best to make sure that it's fair, that it isn't swayed as much, and that they are limited to the influences that could come about.
I like that you said as much.
As much. But they are voting across what they would hope to be 3 days, that they would get a decision, make a decision by the third day. And they vote the first day that they come in, which is tomorrow, they vote. And then they vote twice. Yeah, they vote once on the first day, and then they vote twice on the second day, twice on the third day, if there is a third day, right? And then I guess they continue. But I think they said after a certain period of time, and I can't remember what that was, they would take a break, right? And then reconvene, depending on how long it takes. But most people that, when I was reading about this, most people say that if they don't reach a decision by day 3, that they get concerned about now actually finding, the next pope.
Exactly. And this is where, and you really see the importance of the pope the cardinal that's selected to run the conclave plays a vital role in doing what you just said, making sure it doesn't take as long. He's supposed to do his homework, knowing who are the favorites and why. And also, especially now, think about it this way, and think about anything like when we go to elections, they want to fish out any problems that could come around.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that whoever represents a pope, you're not going to find out in a year that they done did this and did that. So they do background checks. They try their best to flush out anything that could really embarrass the Catholic religion by choosing the wrong pope. So, and you see this process kind of unfold in the movie. Now, I'm sure it's a little bit exaggerated in the movie. Obviously it is. But you have to imagine, especially with all of the controversy that has happened in the Catholic religion about all of the sex scandals that has happened over the years, they really have to look into this. They really have to make sure that the popes that they put that are nominated, so to speak, can really represent the church and not embarrass the church with what is going on. So I think it's going to be interesting. They do have some forerunners already. There's about 3. Tomorrow there's about 3 expected forerunners. These are cardinals that are more well known. Again, European cardinals. They do have, I think, one from South America. They do have 3 African cardinals. They don't believe they'll get the numbers to come out ahead, but they do have some forerunners if you want to put some of them in the mix. And the way it goes is that every cardinal, they have 133 cardinals will vote, and they'll name all the people that got more than 1 vote. They won't name everybody that got 1 vote, but then what that's supposed to do is kind of sway the crowd to hear, okay, let's kind of narrow down. Now we have 10 people with more than 1 vote. Let's start narrowing down. So that's why they start kind of letting you know who got the vote, so that you can kind of now evaluate the cardinals as much as you can to see who you would want to kind of come to the top. So they kind of like weed out, so to speak, with each vote, the people that get, more and more votes. And it hopefully by the 3rd day, they finally find somebody that is ahead. You don't get the papacy until you hit 2/3 of the vote. So if it's 133, 2/3 of that would have to be the votes that come through in order for the pope to get the vote.
Yeah.
They ask the cardinal, they have to ask them, do you want it? People have rejected it after they got the vote. So they have to ask them what
you have to accept. Right.
You have to accept it, and you have to choose a name. Very similar if you were confirmed in Catholic religion, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're confirmed, you have to choose a name that you will now be called. So Pope Francis, that's not his name. They now name a name, and that's the name they go by as the Pope.
Get confirmed, Melissa.
Yes, I was confirmed.
What was your confirmation? Sidebar.
Mary. Mine was Mary. After Mary Magdalene.
Nice. So, we have a point here. Why is this important to discuss? Right? Like, why do you think this is important? And I think we should bring in our producer because he had a point here that he wanted to talk about in regards to Conclave. Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, we're here. We're still here. I mean, I went to Catholic school for 8 years. Never a Catholic. Just went to a Catholic school for 8 years. So I observed a lot and I asked a lot of questions. I also got in trouble a lot for asking some of those questions.
Yeah, some detentions.
Hey, I grew up in the church, so I knew the word.
He knew the Bible, and that was his problem.
That's law. I'm sorry.
He knew the Bible.
Don't tell me anything that contradicts with this book. But one thing that I've always respected about the Catholic Church is the structure of this process. It's very specific. And I think it is so specific and they're so strict about what they do because they want the people who follow the Catholic Church to trust it. And I know, and I'm not saying they do everything right, but they follow a certain set of rules religiously. Especially in this one, I'm talking about the specific moment when it comes to from the moment the Pope dies to they elect, there is a timeline. Their conclave has to start at least, I believe the number is 17 days after the Pope dies. It has 17 to 20 days or like 15 to 20. It has to begin. There's a time limit because nothing in the church can progress. That's the other thing. The government, it's like the church is its own government. They stop. You guys can't move anymore. So I think it's important to say they go through this process. They sequester their people. You're only in a room with each other and you're talk it out and figure it out. It's for the church to trust that people who have made it up to that point.
Right.
And I think it's important to know
for the constituents.
Exactly.
And you look at Pope Francis, who just passed, he was the most caring and dedicated to the people. He cared about the homeless. He invited the people. He invited people who are part of the LGBT community back into the church. You can't hold a position, and there's still rules in place. But he reminded them that God still loves you.
Yes.
And he did what a pope needed to do. He wasn't worried about the people already in the building. He was trying to figure out a way to get the people outside the building in.
And two facts I think is so important. The Pope is one of the most influential people in the world.
To this day.
There are 1.4 billion Catholics. So this is not just any old appointment. This is an appointment of one of the most influential people in the world. So to Nick's point, as much as you may or may not love the Catholic Church,
that's what I said. We question him.
We question it. Look, all the time. And but my foundation is Catholicism, which I still, to my heart, believe. Because that's what I was raised on. And the influences that I learned in Catholic school still frame my mind.
That's right.
So to have somebody that you can listen to and hear them say things that God would say is so important. So I think understanding the papacy, understanding what's about to happen, I think it is important because I think this is how we learn that we're all one people. One thing I've learned, and one of the biggest lessons I learned was that, and I thank my executive assistant Anissa from TNAC. I learned that when you love God, you love God. You could be Muslim, you could be Catholic, you could be non-denominational. When you love God, you love God, and then you see the similarities of where we all come from. So
when is that religion versus relationship? Because that's what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and that's another show.
That's another show.
But we have to go. But I wanted to make one quick point on what you were saying, just and why it's important, right? I implore people to go back and look at the history of the Catholic Church and when you talk about influence, how much influence it's had on every country, right? And then
including ours.
multiple religions. Absolutely. So go back, take a look at your history. But we have to close the show out tonight. We love you. We thank you for joining us. And we will see you again next week right here on Fem Talk. Take care.
Thanks.